Good evening and welcome to Toastmaster Time. I'm Kevin Wood, your host for tonight's very entertaining show. Please welcome back my partner, contest judge, and evaluator extraordinaire, Dave Orris. Welcome, Dave.
Hello, Kevin. Glad to be back.
Dave, please tell us why tonight's show is going to be so outstanding.
Well, Kevin, everybody is talking about healthcare nowadays, and we know that laughter is the best medicine. So tonight, we're going to unveil the Toastmaster Time Healthcare Plan. We've got with us the winners of the District 57 Humorous Speech Contest, and they are good. They'll keep us laughing all night long.
Very fine. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to the show. Our first guest has been a Toastmaster for 2 years. She is a professional graphics designer. Please welcome Evelyn Lee. Welcome, Evelyn.
Thank you.
Now, Evelyn, on Toastmasters Time, we usually focus on the manual projects, but today we're going to be talking, or your speech is going to be about impromptu speaking, also known as table topics. Please explain how you developed the points for the content of your speech.
To begin with, the table topics is something where you have to speak impromptu, and I'm not very good at that at all. So I thought, perfect, if you want to be funny, pick something you're terrible at, and you can make all kinds of jokes about it. So that was the start of my writing that particular speech.
Okay, now your speech is in the 5 to 7 minute time frame.
Yes.
How do you mentally pace yourself through a speech of that length?
If I'm going to pace myself, I have to tell myself ahead of time, speak slowly and clearly, give plenty of time for people to laugh after a joke. You can't just run right through it. And when I'm memorizing a speech, if I am looking down, then in my writing, I make the next line something where I need to look up. So there's a flow to it as well.
And that actually aids you in
Absolutely.
remembering your speech.
Yes.
Now, you've been a Toastmaster for 2 years, but what was it like in an audience of over 250 people?
It was
How
awesome. It was totally awesome. The idea of me sharing something that I just wrote down at my computer in my little den, and then performing it and getting all the people laughing and seeing their delight, it was just wonderful.
Now, I understand that. How did you come to being a contestant in a speech contest?
In my Toastmasters Club, our president begged someone to stand up and compete, and I said, no, I don't want to. And they said, please, please. I said, I'm going to throw up. It'll make me so nervous. And they said, we'll provide a garbage can at the competition. I said, all right, I'll do it. And look where it brought me.
Well, we're laughing already. Are you ready to give your speech?
I am.
Very fine. There's a difference between evaluation and judging. In the past, watchers of this show recognize how we lay out the objectives for a manual speech, and our evaluator informs us in his opinions of how well a speaker does against those objectives. However, in contest speaking, they're a little different. Please welcome back Dave Orris. What items of Evelyn's speech are you going to be focusing on?
Well, rather than a specific set of objectives out of a manual, we're going to be looking at three main things: the content, delivery, and language. And these are what the judges look at, and each point is weighted a little differently, with the most weight being on the content.
Okay, well, very fine. I'm looking forward to the speech. Ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn Lee. Audacious Evelyn Lee.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, the word of the day is audacious. It means fearless, bold, or daring. And when we hear the word of the day, we know it's time for table topics. Fearful, cowering, wimpy. You know what I mean. As soon as the table topics master at your club stands at the lectern, what does everyone in the room do? They suddenly look down, fascinated by their agendas. So that's what we did 1 minute ago. Meanwhile, the table topics master is trying to rouse enthusiasm. Hey everybody, this is your opportunity to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. The theme for the day is nature. Everybody likes to talk about nature. It's gonna be fun. Yay! But what us fearful Toastmasters hear is nature, survival of the fittest. Each one of you is going to stand up in front of all these people and look like a complete idiot, stammering and stuttering your response to my topic. Oh, and don't forget the word of the day, audacious. If you don't hear the evil table topics master, then maybe you get the slick salesman. Hey everybody, have I got a deal for you? Our timer is going to give you not one, not two, but 3 colored cards. That's right, a green one at the 1 minute mark, a yellow at the 1.5 minute mark, and a red at the 2 minute mark. But hold on to those silver tongues because there's more. You get to keep talking 30 seconds after the red card. So who wants to speak first? Operators are standing by. If you're in your seat, you may be gesturing, but if you're a Toastmaster, there is no escape. Everyone has to take their turn at table topics. So you bravely stand up and wipe your sweaty palms on your pants. And all around you, people begin clapping, and you feel encouraged. But they're clapping because they didn't get picked. Yes, thank you! They're high-fiving their neighbors, doing chest bumps. The Toastmaster has to bang his gavel on the lectern. Please, everyone, quiet. Now, let's all listen to the speaker have her turn. All right, Ms. Speaker, your topic is, how has a pet affected your life? And you're thinking, nothing. Nothing is coming to you. What are you going to say for 1 whole minute? You stare down at your feet, searching for something to say. Seconds pass. Minutes, hours, the hands on the clock spin wildly to the beating of your heart. You look around, the audience is all slumped in their seats. Their skin begins to dry and flake from their bones. Their skulls drop onto the table. All around you, the walls and ceiling of the meeting room disintegrate. Glaciers rise up in the distance and melt, forming a vast ocean that laps at your feet. The sun burns relentlessly, drying the ocean and forming a huge, hot desert. Your throat is parched. Your ancient brain is thinking, just say 1 word. Oh, not that word. Across from you, the counter raises her pen and marks her tally sheet. Then she raises her pen again and dares you. Come on. You know you want to say another Come on. Do not pay attention to the counter. Concentrate. At last you think of something to say. The other day, I saw my roommate's cat laying on its back, completely stretched out like it had been in a cat fight. And there it lay, perfectly still. I asked it, "Hey, are you dead?" He didn't say anything. So I reached out and audaciously poked him. We both jumped and raced for the door. And that's how a pet has affected my life. Hooray! The audience's applause is amazing. No Academy Award winner or Nobel laureate ever received such a resounding display of appreciation. Now you can relax, sit back down. It's your turn to cheer on the other speakers. And hold your hands up high as you clap. Be proud to show your battle stains. And that, fellow Toastmasters, is what I want you to remember, your deodorant. But also the clapping, the support, the encouragement. At Toastmasters, every effort you make to speak is appreciated. And Table Topics is your opportunity to practice so that soon, instead of thinking of your feet while trying to speak, you'll be thinking and speaking on your feet. The next time the Table Topics master at your club asks for volunteers, audaciously hold up your hand and stand up to speak.
All right. Dave, our audience may have learned more about impromptu speaking than they wanted to know, but how did Evelyn do against the criterion of content, delivery, and language?
Oh, she did very well. In fact, to be honest with you, I was laughing so hard that I took my eyes off the judging sheet for quite a while. But delivery, perfect. She had every element there. She had the pauses. She had the
timing.
Eye contact. Absolutely. Time was impeccable. I was really impressed, though, by her style of humor. It reminded me of something that Jerry Seinfeld might come up with, how he takes something so mundane and part of life, like part of a Toastmaster life is the fear of table topics initially, and just expand on that in this wildly humorous, exaggerated humor. It's amazing.
And I loved her gestures when she deliberately, again, used the word of the day.
Absolutely. It was very good. I think any Toastmaster worldwide can relate to this speech.
It was outstanding. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back.
Thank you very much. And now for our next speaker, Stanley Lichner.
Nomine Patri et Filii Spiritui Sancti.
Speaking in public doesn't have to be a death sentence. At Toastmasters, we can help you overcome your fears. Speaking in public doesn't have to be a death sentence.
Welcome back to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody laughing. Our second guest has been a Toastmaster for, believe it, 8 months. She is the winner of the District 57 Humorous Speech Contest that was held last weekend. Please welcome Lynn Kisielewski. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank
Welcome to the show. I am just amazed that 8 months into Toastmasters, you've actually won a speech competition. How did you get involved in competitive speaking?
My president really encouraged me to compete. I really didn't want to at first, but he believed in me, and so did other people, so I decided to just go for it.
Now, content, as Dave has said, is a very important part of a contest speech. How did you develop the content for Ladies' Night Out?
I asked a couple of friends what they thought of some ideas. So I originally wanted to do just Girls' Night Out, but I wanted something more. So I love the Raiders, and I decided, well, let's just go to the Raider game.
Okay. Now, are you a real part of the Raider Nation? I mean, are you drawing from experience?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Then, when you're speaking competitively, well, when you're in your club, you're in a small, friendly environment, but in a speech competition, you spoke in front of, what, 250, 275 people, most of which you didn't know. What was that like?
It was an adrenaline rush for sure, and I really enjoy that. I was nervous and I was sick that morning, but you know what? It's just all fun.
You, in this speech, you use props. How is it to make and use props in a speech? And how is it different than an ordinary speech?
It's a little challenging. You have to make sure that you know your boundaries, but I believe the props empowered me to really deliver a speech that I believed in.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to hear your speech tonight. Are you ready? Do you have everything that you need?
I do.
In a contest environment, our speakers have to perform under the time pressure and also in an environment that they may not be familiar with. Please welcome back our evaluator and judge, Dave Orris.
Okay.
Dave, judging is a team event in a speech contest, and many people know the criterion and they judge. So can you tell us any more about the criterion for judging and how it's distinctive from evaluating?
Well, I think one of the points you mentioned about being a team effort is important when it comes to judging a speech contest. You have 7 judges and a tie-breaking judge because everybody sees that speech a little differently. So it's important to get a broad spectrum of analysis.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited to hear the speech, so I want to go right to it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lynn Kisielewski, Girls Night Out with a Twist. Girls Night Out with a Twist, Lynn Kisielewski.
One day, my 4 best friends and I got together after work to get ready for Girls Night Out. There we were, dressed like girly girls in our pretty blouses, skirts, and high heels. But instead of our usual Louis Vuitton, we each carried a big duffel bag full of items that we would need for the night. Inside the bag were a black wig, a spiked collar, metal chains, black leather pants, and black stilettos. Take a wild guess as to where we were going that night. Get your minds out of the gutter! I was taking my girls to a Raider game, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know, going to a Raider game is an experience unlike any other. It is a place to release some stress, and we were ready. Maybe by the end of this speech, you might want to grab a few buddies and release some stress at the Raider game. When you go to a Raider game, you'll see all walks of life. The professional businessman high up on the corporate ladder wearing face paint and a jersey that says assassin. You'll even see the soccer mom screaming in the stands, "Stop the run!" And if you are lucky, you'll see Voodoo Man and Raider for life. When you go to a Raider game, you become part of a nation, the Raider Nation. I said to my girls, there are 3 things you have to do in order to have a great time at the game. First, we have to know our team. Second, we have to tailgate. If that means dieting all week, so be it, because on game day, we are gonna eat! Third, you have to get into it. That means the clothes and the attitude have to represent the Raider Nation. After the devastating loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Super Bowl 37, the Raiders have been going downhill. Yes, we have the talent, like Jamarcus Russell, a quarterback from LSU. At 6'6", 260 pounds, he's calm under pressure, quick on his feet, and has a cannon for an arm. We even signed Darren McFadden, a running back from Arkansas University. At 6'2", 215 pounds, he can run like the wind. We haven't seen anyone like him since Bo Jackson. So, why are we still losing? I'll tell you why. The owner, Al Davis. There, I said it, Al Davis. He's a control freak. He doesn't trust anybody, not even the coach. He's fired 4 coaches in the past 6 years. Being on the Raiders is like being stranded in the desert in a broken down Pinto with 4 flat tires, no gas, and no phone. How is any team supposed to succeed under those conditions? Why even bother being a fan? Because we stand for our team, whether we win or lose. Now, tailgating is an absolute must. I said to my girls, ladies, today we eat like men! We're having hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken wings, chips, and beer. You know what they were thinking? Cellulite, artificial hormones, sodium nitrates, hydrogenated oils. Relax, I said to the girls. We're having all-natural, nitrite-free, all-beef franks, 98% lean ground beef patties, organic chicken wings, organic whole wheat buns, organic oven-baked and sea-salted potato chips, organic fudge brownies, and light beer. After tailgating, We could barely even move. Now, getting into it is an art. You cannot be afraid to go all out for the team that you love. That means the clothes and the attitude have to represent the Raider Nation. That's right. Oh, yeah. There we were, folks, dressed like Gothic angels as we stepped foot into the Oakland Coliseum. And we were brought back thousands of years ago, how it must have been to enter the Roman Coliseum to watch gladiators fight till death. And then we heard the chanting. Raiders! And as our blessed team set foot into the field, Raider fans went crazy. And I don't know if it was the alcohol or the energy in the stadium, but my friend grabbed my battle axe, started waving it at the other team, and yelled, "You suck!" My other friend started chugging beers with Voodoo Man. It was clear that my sweet girly girls had been transformed into fierce Raider fans. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to release some stress, get to a Raider game. Get out of your black hole and see the light, even if it's through one eye. Find that Raider in you. Be a part of the Raider Nation.
Dave, Lynn showed lots of attitude. She's sure enough a part, a citizen of the Raider Nation.
She put a lot into this speech, you can tell. In fact, she got right into it immediately with no delay. I thought it was a stroke of genius to show that picture of Voodoo Man early on to let the audience see what to expect.
And get them into it.
Absolutely. A lot of unexpected twists in this speech as well, and the contrast. For example, this nice, petite young woman just turning into this alter ego.
Transforms, absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was laughing through the whole speech. I think she obviously nailed it. She won the contest with that speech, and she appealed to a broad audience as well. Even the vast audience of Raider Nation, which seem to be everywhere, as well as those who aren't Raiders but are curious about what goes through the minds of the Raider Nation.
It was fabulous.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Lynn. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Toastmaster Time. We'll be right back.
I'd like to begin tonight with a little joke. This guy, he's a farmer, and he says, "Hey, hello, sorry." But seriously, folks.
Speaking in public is no joke.
Doctor says, chicken says...
For help, call Toastmasters, the public speaking support group.
The chicken...
Speaking in public doesn't have to be a death sentence.
Welcome back to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody laughing. Dave, incredible show tonight, but we have covered some different topics from our usual shows. We talked about contests or competitive speaking. We talked about judging, and we also talked about the dreaded table topics or impromptu speaking.
In fact, we covered a lot of areas in maybe subtle ways for the viewing audience to get an idea of what Toastmasters is about. And one thing that caught my attention, both speakers told us that they enlisted in the contest because someone else had guided them into
Yes,
that.
yeah,
I
that's
think
a
that
good
really
point.
underscores the
That's an excellent point.
supportiveness of Toastmasters.
Yes, and in many instances, I thought that Evelyn is right. People tend to shy away from taking that step. But look at the success that both of them had on their first outing in competitive speaking.
Absolutely.
They're hooked.
And you know they feel good about it.
And yes, and that's how Lynn described it. She said it was an adrenaline rush.
Well, that's how we grow. We just take that step out of our
It's
comfort zone and then stand back and enjoy the results and then take another step
Until they reach their destination.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Toastmaster Time, a production of Toastmasters District 57 with the generous support of Comcast Studios here in Fremont, California. To find out more information about Toastmaster Time or to join us on the show or to be in the studio audience, please find us at our website at toastmastertime.com. In addition to that, you can find out more information about Toastmasters and in maybe even starting a club or finding a club close to you. The website is d57toastmasters.org and our telephone number 1-800-464-8657. For Dave Orris, for Evelyn Lee and Lynn Kisielewski, I'm Kevin Wood, your host, inviting you to speak up and join Toastmasters. Fantastic show.